What's good, guys? Welcome back to Behind the Dugouts for your latest transfer news video. And we have seemed to have gotten through that quiet period when, for a few weeks of just utter garbage, the same repetitive news coming in day after day, we were talking about the same stuff, pulling our hair out, waiting for something new to drop that we could talk about. And in the last 24 to 48 hours, we have had some substantial news coming out of the club. Two double exits of a permanent and a loan deal. We've got some more news on Tyrique George, who, we heard a little bit about a few weeks ago. Teams were interested, could be a potential permanent move. It then went a bit quiet, and now there seems to be another team that's interested, as well as a new Premier League side that could be interested in Christopher Nkunku. We're going to cover that all right here today, starting with the latest on the two exits in Carney Chukwuemeka and Aaron Anselmino. This is the latest on those two players. Fabrizio dropped this: Aaron Anselmino to Borussia Dortmund from Chelsea. Here we go. Deal agreed on loan, no buy option clause, as Aaron will be back at Chelsea in June 2026. Dortmund will cover his salary and also expected to sign Carney Chukwuemeka on a permanent deal next. It's almost done. He then went on to drop this bomb: Carney Chukwuemeka to Borussia Dortmund. Here we go. Deal done and planned. Chelsea to receive a fee around 25 million with add-ons and a heavy sell-on clause also included. And that was key in the deal. Anselmino and Carney both will undergo a medical on Monday. Right, so though it might seem strange that we are loaning out a centre-back, considering that we are desperately in need of centre-back cover with the injuries that keep getting picked up and not feeling fully solid in the fan base. Maresca clearly doesn't feel fully solid in the centre-back position, but this makes perfect sense for Anselmino. It makes perfect sense for Dortmund. I just hope that he does get played the required game time that he needs to develop, so we can at least see his progression from a Chelsea standpoint. I think we know Maresca likes him. He's come out publicly and said that he's a good player, but he just needs minutes. So this is an opportunity for him to go get minutes. And out of a lot of clubs in the world, Dortmund are one of those places, if I'm going to send a player to, it's generally to them, because they have a great track record of developing players. We've seen players that have come out of Dortmund. We've seen players that have been sent on loan that come back that look really good. So this is a great move for Anselmino, and I hope that, when we do come back, 2026 next year, that he has a full season where he's playing hopefully every single game, being that starting centre-back. He can progress his footballing career, get a little bit more solid, understand the game more. Again, he's only like 19 years old, so he's still got so much to learn, and he's going to come back with that year more experience, and hopefully will slot straight into the squad and compete for the squad next season. That's the aim, that's the hope for these young players that are going out on loan. The Carney deal is still something I'm a little bit sad over. Carney was basically subject to a series of unfortunate events. Shout out to Jim Carrey, great movie, should check it out. He got a nasty injury, which didn't help in a time where he was looking really good, one of our best attacking options under Poch. He had a great pre-season. He came into the league firing. He was looking really, really good. Picked up that injury, was out for a considerably long time, and he just never really got back to the fitness. At that point, Cole Palmer was firing, so it was going to be difficult for him to get into the squad. And the next thing is he's been subject and the unfortunate events of we've progressed. We've brought in new players. We're still looking into bring the likes of Xavi Simons in that would play in his role. Carney, likes to sit in that 10 role. I know he has been tried further back, but he prefers, and where he looks best at, is in that number 10 role. And Chelsea have progressed on from Chukwuemeka, and you can argue he didn't get a fair chance, but that is the unfortunate thing that happens when you pick up an injury. Players will come in to replace you if it's a long injury, and if you can't get back to fitness, you never know what kind of player is going to come back from injury. And sometimes, especially in this case, when Cole Palmer come in, we didn't know what he was going to do when he come in, and he absolutely smashed it, nailed on that 10 role for himself, became main starter and Chelsea's star boy. Then you've got the likes of Esteval that's just come in. He can also play in that role. We're looking to get Xavi Simons. We're moved away from Carney, and he's not had the opportunity to try and get in that role because we've moved past him. We've looked to the future and we've brought in players. So it is quite sad for the player himself. I liked Carney when we brought him in. I saw him at Aston Villa, and through the youth things, he looked like he was going to bring something special. It just didn't work out, and it's going to be another one of those players where, yeah, the story sort of finishes and he moves on. I think he will do really well at Dortmund. It's not the first time he's gone to Dortmund. He's been on loan twice there, so he knows the club. They know him, and that's why they want to buy him. I think we'll make a slight loss on the deal because I think we bought him for a lot higher than the 25 million euros that they're giving us for the player. But all in all, he needs to play football. We need to get him off the books because we're not going to use him. Maresca's not going to use him. So it makes sense for the player. It's just, a little sad end to a story that never really took off. But I wish him all the best. I hope he has a bright future. We do have obviously the sell-on clause in there, and because they've said it's a heavy one, I'm going to say it's the same as the Renato Vega, about 40%. So if he does well, progresses well, and a big club comes in, because Dortmund do flip players. We look at, the players that they've sold over the years. He could be another one, and we could get a sizable fee on top of the 25 million that we've already got for him. So business-wise, it's good business sense, and it seems to be something that we're doing with quite a lot of the players this summer. I don't expect. I think if Tyrique George was to go, which we're going to talk about next, I think he would have the same sell-on clause, but that's all speculation. We'll see what happens in the future with those ones. So yeah, moving into the Tyrique George, there has been some new news coming out regarding another club that's interested in Tyrique George. This is the latest on Tyrique George and Roma. Fabrizio reports Roma asked for Tyrique George deal conditions after initial contact revealed in July. He's one of the options at left wing if Sancho keeps not opening the door to the move. Chelsea winger on Roma's shortlist, as also RB Leipzig and Premier League clubs are still very keen. Right, before we talk about Tyrique George, I have to say this on Jadon Sancho. What is this guy doing? I don't understand. For a player that is young, that wants to be playing football, is at the moment looking like he's going to be sat in the reserves, albeit on 325k a week, which he's not going to grumble at, because that is the biggest reason why he's not going anywhere, because nobody wants to pay him that salary. He is turning down offers left, right, and centre. We've offered him a contract, not up to his standard, don't want less than what he's on now. We ain't going to pay that, nor do I think any club should be paying that. He's not worth that kind of money. He's turned down some other Champions League club. He's looking like he's going to turn down the Roma deal as well. He's not making any effort into looking like he wants the move to Roma. I don't understand the player. I really don't. Luckily, it ain't our issue, so I don't have to worry about it. It frustrates me for a player that has got talent. He has made a name for himself, and he's in the shoes of where loads of kids would want to be, and he's just wasting away his career because he wants a bit of this. I don't get it. Just go get some money, go play football. That's what you want to do. That's what we all dream of doing. It doesn't make sense to me, but again, it's not our issue, so I don't care that much, I guess. Tyrique George. It's a bit of a split in the fan base. I think half of us sort of want to keep him, especially in the left wing situation. We've got Gittins. He's looking like he's going to take some time to adapt. A lot of people would rather Tyrique George than Garnacho. I don't think there's going to be any way around that. Garnacho, from what I'm hearing from Fabrizio, it's about 100% done. It's probably going to be done next week. So he is going to be coming in. With Tyrique George, it's also a split between whether he goes on a loan or on a permanent, being that if we are going to bring in Garnacho, we've already got two wingers. We're probably going to bring in someone in the summer if these two don't perform. So where is George going to fit? And George needs to be playing at his age. He needs football to develop. I would prefer to loan him and then have him come back. And, if Garnacho and Gittins don't work out, he can then come and compete next season after being on loan somewhere, having another year to develop and hopefully progressing his footballing status and his name. So when he comes back, he can feel more confident to compete for that position. But I have to say, with the way that we've been moving a lot in this transfer window and the fact that some of the players that we wanted permanent moves are looking like they're going to be loan deals now, I think he could be one that is going to be sacrificed because he can bring in pure profit. We need to bring in some money to facilitate other deals. And I think he could be one of those players that is used in this to bring in some money, because they will get a decent fee for Tyrique George because he was part of the first team, Conference League winner. Again, he was part of the Club World Cup squad. So he's got experience playing in this Chelsea squad. So it'd be sad if he does go on a permanent, of course, but we'll always keep an eye on him. He's a Cobham boy. So we'll always, wish him the best wherever he goes. I would prefer him to go on loan, but we'll see how this one materializes over the next week, because we've only got about a week and a bit left of the transfer window anyway. Moving on to the last bit of news regarding Christopher Nkunku. We've had another team, a Premier League side this time, not another German one. And to be fair, makes me a little bit happier because the German clubs seem to be really, really stingy and only wanting loan deals at the moment. Bar Dortmund saw a little bit of sense with Carney, but they definitely dug their heels in a bit with their first lowball offer that come in was, I think it was like 17 million to start with. So we have had a Premier League side. So this is the latest on Christopher Nkunku and Aston Villa. Aston Villa make contact for Christopher Nkunku as an option for the final week of the transfer window. Bayern and Leipzig both keen. Aston Villa also now informed on conditions. Villa also have Nicholas Jackson, many clubs keen, and Asensio on the list. And that's where some of the happiness gets zapped out. Yes, Premier League club, that's where the money is. But we also know Aston Villa are strapped for cash. They can't afford to buy anyone. And if they are, it's going to be on the cheap. Obviously, they have been looking at Nicholas Jackson. We're wanting around £80 million for him. Nkunku would be the cheaper option out of the two. Chelsea reported wanting around 30 to 40 million for him. Take a loss on him, but they just want to get him out the door. He's another player that's on big wages. He's sort of the last few players that are on these big contracts. So they will be eager to get him out the door more so than Nicholas Jackson. Nkunku to Aston Villa, I wouldn't mind. Again, I don't think he's going to elevate them to be title challengers, a team that we should worry about. I just want to get him out the door. As harsh as it sounds, I think Nkunku is a great player. It's just not worked out for us, and we need to shift him on, get the money and get the wages off the books. I don't think this one's going to go through, though. I don't see how Aston Villa are going to buy him. I think Nkunku, with the looks of it, is going to be a loan somewhere, which I don't want, because we need the money to go out and get the Garnacho and Xavi Simons deal done. I don't know if this will cause any problems if Nkunku and Jackson both go out on loan rather than getting the money up front. Does that mean we're not going to be able to go in for Xavi Simons or Garnacho? Not sure. I would say more so on the Xavi Simons side. Garnacho, I think, is a done deal now, regardless of what happens with Jackson and Nkunku. So yeah, I just don't see how Aston Villa are going to afford this, but I want to be surprised. I want to be proven wrong. Aston Villa, if you do want him, pay the money. We'll happily give it to him. I think 30 to 40 million is a very reasonable fee for Nkunku. We know what type of player he can be, and he's got experience playing in the top level, playing at Champions League level. Aston Villa need these type of players to elevate them. They've lost the likes of Marcus Rashford. They lost all these players that could have taken them a little bit further, because they didn't have the money to bring them in. Rashford more so on his wages. Be interesting what they could do on Christopher Nkunku's wages. He's not up to the level of Marcus Rashford, but he's still considerably high, so he's probably going to have to take a drop. I do think Nkunku is one of those players that would take the drop, though, to move, because he just wants to play football. But we'll see how that goes. I've still got a feeling Nkunku is going to end up at Leipzig. I think that just makes total sense for everybody. Leipzig getting Nkunku, they get a player to replace Xavi Simons, and we get Xavi Simons. That's what I feel is going to happen with Nkunku. But at the end of the day, whoever takes him is going to hopefully give us the money to go get Xavi Simons anyway. But that is all for me now, guys. And if you are enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button. Join me on this journey following Chelsea throughout this season. And drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on Carney, Chukwuemeka and Aaron Anselmino deal to Borussia Dortmund. And where do you think Nkunku is going to end up at the end of the transfer window. Love to get your thoughts. But for now, guys, take care of yourselves and I will catch you in the next one.